to see who squirms. Who destroyed the third floor button in the elevator? Here's, look, I don't know. Reed Burns looks a little guilty. Look at. He always looks guilty, though. Let's see. Hey, all I want to say is, look, it's whoever did it, I'm not mad. It's actually really impressive because not only did you take the button out, you took all the circuitry behind it out, so there's no way to get to the third floor except up the stairs. So, good for you.
But don't do it again.
Yeah, please don't, because we'll get in trouble tomorrow with Mr. Joel. Hey, so how's everybody doing today? Everybody good? Y'all are...
They're dead.
They're dead. They're not talking. Hey, so it's really good to be back with you tonight. Some of y'all heard, some of y'all haven't. I was not here last week because I ended up at the ER on Sunday morning and had my gallbladder taken out on Monday morning, very early. So I am feeling much better. Obviously, I'm actually allowed to be here tonight. Couple of announcements real quick. Which one do you want to do? We didn't talk about it.
I don't know what order they're in.
I don't even know what order. Hey,
put the first announcement.
Put the first announcement. We don't even know what announcements first. Okay, next Wednesday night. All right, everybody listen, because I know y'all are going to have questions about this. Next Wednesday night, we are not going to meet in the hangar. We are going to meet in the sanctuary.
So next Wednesday, you won't need the elevator button.
Yes, next Wednesday, we're going to meet in the sanctuary. Everybody from 3rd grade and up will all be together next Wednesday night because it's the beginning of our series, Who Owns the Night? Now, some of y'all know what Who Owns the Night is. Some of y'all have absolutely no clue. Our seniors have a series every year where they take over for Wednesday nights. And so that's what this is going to be. So seniors have put together, they're going to be leading in worship. We're going to be doing some other different things, some games that they're going to be leading. So we would love for you to come, invite your parents, bring your siblings. We would love for everybody to be here for that. All right, what's the second one? It's probably Boston. No.
All right, so in August, we announced this last week, we are going to do an event called Enthroned. And I know last week some of the people asked, what's the purpose of this event if we are not doing host homes? Well, the thing is, we want to get you inside the church. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have, we're still going to do small groups. We're going to do them inside. And it's just a discipleship and evangelism event. And we're really excited about it.
It is the exact same lineup as D-Now in the past, except for no host homes. That is really the only difference. If you want the host home experience, let me tell you, this is how you do it. Get a group of friends together and go find a house to stay at that we're not in charge of. So, and then that way, if a bunch of you get in the backs of pickup trucks at 2 o'clock in the morning, we're not in charge of you. So, we want to encourage you to do that.
But yeah, so the price, I got a few questions what the price is for. We're going to be providing all your meals. We're going to be T-shirts. That helps bring us a speaker, a band, all that.
So we're feeding you all weekend. You're just not spending the night here.
Yep. All right. Now, this is Brian's.
All right, Boston. We are going to Boston on a mission trip, July 19th through the 25th. It's $400 plus airfare. I know somebody was like, that seems like a lot. That $400 covers everything for you from Monday to Sunday. So room, where you're staying, all your food, all your transportation, that covers everything while you're in Boston, except if you want to buy some souvenirs during free time. Yep. So that's the only thing. The deadline to register is May 2nd, so it's this Sunday. We can give you a little bit of wiggle room until May 5th, which is next Wednesday, but if you're interested in going, we need you to go ahead and register. Even if we got to work out the payment schedule, whatever that is, if you're interested in going and you need some more information, contact one of us. We can give you the information. Call us. Go ahead and sign up to go. We would love for you to go with us to Boston. It's going to be a great time helping Life Community Church actually get Noah's church plant started. and then help the churches that are already there. So, trying to think if there's anything
Nope,
else.
nothing
I think
else.
that was it. All right.
All right, so what we're going to do now is, so not all of our small group leaders are here, but we need you to get with your small group on Wednesday night. So all the 6th graders will be together, all 7th grade girls will be together, all 7th grade guys, 8th grade girls, 8th grade guys, and then 9th, 10th girls, 9th, 10th guys, 11th, 12th girls, 11th, 12th
Yes.
guys.
So go find your small group.
So if you see your small group leader, go to them. So that means stand up, or they're going to come to you.
Brad's like, no, don't move.
They're already all together.
Yeah, they're already there. Look, see, that's great. See, Ben went back there to them.
Yeah. All right. And once you're in your group, send one representative to the table where Scott Kennis is to pick up your folder.
Your
or
clipboard.
clipboard. If you do not know where your small group is, come to up here and we'll help you point.
And we will help you. What? Clipboard.
Clipboards.
Your clipboard. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody has a small group here. Yeah.
I didn't see Scott Kennis come in.
9th, 10th girls don't. Hey. I got it. Yeah. Hey, Jennifer. Would you be their group leader? The girls on the couch. Huh?
6th grade. There was. Hey, Scott or Sam Kennis. Sam Kennis. Hey, do you have the 6th grade? You got it? Okay. All right, all right, if you have your clipboard, hold it up. If you have your clipboard, hold it up. All right, so here, I about just kicked that. No, it's good there. I know it's there. No, you may want to move it. People's going to come to the stage. All right, hey, so here's what you need to do with your group. You need to make sure that you can see one of the TVs. It can be any TV. You just need to be able to see it. All right, so we're going to play a game called 1 Minute Mini Mysteries. So how this game's going to work is there'll be a mystery on the screen. You have 1 minute on your right. So you're solving a crime, pretty much what it is. You have to write hey, if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss it. So it is going to give you kind of like a prompt, and you had to answer that prompt on that piece of paper. Here's how the point system, well, let me show you the instructions, and then we will talk about points. All right, so here's how the point system works. If you get the correct answer, you get 1 point. You have a minute to solve it. If you are the first team to get it correct, you get 2 points. The team with the most points at the end will win. All right? So if you are in middle school, you will give me the answers. If you are in high school, you go to Brian. 6th grade, you come to me.
Now, hey, let me give everybody a hint. There is a lot of information that you'll read. In every one of these, there's only going to be 1 or 2 pieces of information that are important to answer the mystery. There's going to be a lot of Oh, I think that's important. It's not, I promise.
Yep.
It's not. So, hey, let me explain what's going to happen. Everybody listen real quick. Shh. When Zach hits start, hey, shh, guys, when Zach hits start, what it's going to do is it is going to type the mystery out
Just like
for
the
you.
instructions.
So you're going to read it, and soon as the mystery is done being typed out, then the timer starts.
You have
So
1 minute.
You have 1 minute from the time it stops to go. Yes, that'll be one of the prizes.
Are you ready?
That's one of the prizes.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah.
Where'd your pin go? Oh, okay. All right, come on, come on.
Wow.
Ryan. Got it, got it. Seventh girl was first. No. You only get one guess.
Hey, Zach. Time out! Hey. They got
Hey, just keep track with yours. We'll go with this.
All right.
All right.
All right.
So the 7th grade girls were the first one to get it right, so they get an extra point.
11th and 12th grade guys got an extra point. First high school students.
Oh, we're doing high school.
Yeah, I'll do that, man. Because I don't know who.
Boo. He just said they want middle school to win. That's
And the
what
9th
it
and
is.
10th grade guys got a point. So
Yep.
let's.
And 7th grade girls and 8th grade girls got a point. All right. Let me tell you, that is one of the hardest ones.
That is one of the
All right, let's
hardest
go.
ones.
Well, if I turn it on.
Yep.
I turn it off so I don't accidentally click it.
Oh! Aha!
Come on. Let's go. Hurry.
Look!
You gonna hurry?
Yes, you are correct.
Right.
I'll give it to y'all. I'll give it to y'all. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hey, every one of the high school groups got points on that one. I gave y'all a point. You had the right word. You knew it had something to do with condensation.
All right.
Oh, 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 oh!
Is sixth grade training theirs in?
No, I don't think they are.
Oh yeah, I think I got sixth grade. Good job.
Hey, let me see your. All right, right now, I'm not telling you how many points, but right now, 11th and 12th guys, 9th and 10th guys, and 8th grade girls are all tied.
All right, let's go.
All right. No extra points. All right, y'all ready for the next one? What is the next one? Oh. Hey, that's only half the answer.
Hey, hold on,
That's all I have.
hold on. What is it? Did it take it?
Okay, yeah, it's good. You're good. You're good. Yep.
Whoa, I'm offended by this answer. Look at this answer. He was diabetic. Woo! Minus points.
So in the interest of full disclosure, we realize that most of the teenagers in the room have no idea what it means to develop a photo. So we were willing to take anything that had to do with photography. So how many of y'all know what it means to develop a photo? All right, there's maybe half. Hey, after I answered this one earlier, I know what the answer is. I thought about it and went, okay.
I got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I can barely read it, but right.
I would take that. Yeah. It's the right idea. It's the right idea.
Thank you, buddy.
Hey, this is good. If you're dead, how can you rewind the tape back to the beginning? All right. Hey, just to let you know, right now there is a junior high group and a high school group that are neck and neck, and there's about 3 groups that are right behind them.
Yep.
So it's anybody's game.
Let's keep going. Ooh, I don't remember this one. We didn't do this one.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, I don't know what the correct answer is. Oh! All right, let's keep going.
Huh? Yeah. What? There were a couple that weren't first.
Oh! Is that right? Yeah. What? You win. Hey, that has not been a team
Hey, you
player.
gotta go back to your group.
To your team.
Back to your group.
Tell your team
Back
to come to
your
you.
group. Y'all, hey, the whole group's gotta move. I'll tell y'all at the end. I'm gonna give y'all a point just for that. I'm gonna give you a point just for that. That's right.
I'm glad.
It's in the Ten Commandments. We're at church. That one. I don't know, man. Okay. All right.
All right. Uno mas.
Uno mas.
One more.
One more.
And as of right now, there's a team in the lead.
Yes, it is. There's a
'Cause you
team
don't kill
ahead by
people.
2. Newspaper. Hey. Yeah, we have.
All right. We have a winner. So, it was very close between two teams.
Very close.
The two that were standing up, like just ready to pounce at any moment they could. However, this lovely picture goes to the 8th grade girls.
By 1 point.
All right,
1 point. 8th grade girls
You're probably the only
beat y'all
person
by
who knows.
1 point. What? Huh? No, we're only giving one prize away. Look at him, look at him. What? The Sonic Cup, that's his. What? What? Who? How do they know the questions? They didn't know the questions. How?
All right.
What? Maybe so, but they didn't see them from us.
They did not see him from us. We can promise. We actually purposely kept it from them.
Yeah.
All right. You want to?
Yeah. Hey, so tonight, as we wrap up our Multiply series that we've been doing, we invited two parents of students to come tonight to do a panel discussion to talk a little bit about what missions is about, what multiplying, what sharing the gospel is about. And we've invited Christy Masariegos and Scott Kennis to come. Scott actually filled in for Zach and I a couple weeks ago when we were at the D6 conference in Orlando. Here's the great thing. Hey, Scott, I meant to ask you this earlier. You're sponsored by NAM, right? So Christy is the daughter of IMB missionaries, former IMB missionaries, and Scott is a current North American Mission Board missionary. So that's part of the reason we wanted to invite them to be here tonight. So y'all can stay in your groups, that's fine. Just turn your chairs this way. Hey, let's give it up for Scott and Christy. Hey, yeah, I was about to say, I don't know where those went. Oh, man. Oh, God. It has begun.
What?
I'm getting text. Stop the count. Election fraud. Votes were stolen. Stop the steal. We never win anyways.
Should have been quicker.
Hey, kudos to you. Do y'all want a consolation prize?
All right, give him a round of applause.
Hey, look. Hey, listen. If all of y'all show up next week, I will have a prize for you.
Whoa.
Look. Are you you really don't want the prize I'm going to give you? Y'all want the prize? Show up next week, I'll give you a prize. I was gonna get like 4 boxes of soda. They're not even listening to me.
The first place gets Airheads?
Yeah, it is what it is. Stop the steal. Stop the steal. Hey, so who wants to go first? You want Scott to go first? Hey, so this is a lot like what we'll do next week with the seniors. And I know some of y'all know Scott and Christy, and some of y'all don't. So we wanted them to take just a few minutes at the beginning to introduce themselves a little bit. So Scott, Christy wants you to go first. So
I'll do it. So Scott Kennis is my name. I'm a chaplain on Fort Rucker. Got saved me my freshman year of college. I was at the University of Alabama at the time, and been serving the Lord ever since. That was '89. I just turned 51, so that's been a little while back. But so now I'm here, and my son Samuel, Anna Kate, Isabella, I know they'll be thrilled. I got a daughter about to get married in June, and so that's me.
He's also Mr. Jersey Mike's, I hear.
Yeah, Jersey Mike's.
how many of y'all know what Jersey Mike's is? How many of y'all have never heard of Jersey Mike's before ever? Okay.
Yeah.
It's really good subs, better than Subway. All right, Christy.
Okay.
All right, so a little bit of a backstory. So every time we do a one night, no matter how many times we check these mics, this happens. Every one night. All right, Christy, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Christy Masariegos, and I was born in Louisiana, went to Guatemala when I was 3, and I Went there when I was 3. I graduated from high school there, came back to the States to go to college. I have a husband and 3 children, Andre, Sam, and Judy Catherine, and I work for a company called Vision Landscape Supply, and also this year I'm helping out Enterprise City Schools as a ESL aide and translator. And my parents were Baptist missionaries, and that's why I was in Guatemala.
Is it? Okay. Zach's back there trying to figure it out. All right. So can you share an unusual or funny story of a time when you were sharing the gospel with somebody? If y'all want to start, I can go.
I don't really have a funny story. It was kind of unusual being a missionary kid, and there was a lot of German people in Guatemala, so I wasn't like the only light-skinned, blue-eyed, but I still stood out. So when we would go and share the gospel, I was probably about 13, a lot of boys started accepting Christ because they wanted to sit with me in church. And they were, I think, more concerned about their citizenship in the United States than they were about their citizenship in heaven. So my parents decided that it was time that I went to the international church with the English speaking, and so that they could get the boys' mind focused in the right position. Because I was proposed a lot. It had nothing to do with them loving me. It had everything to do with they wanted to make it to the United States. So. I did not even know him then, so he was not. He already had his residency when I met him.
Check, yeah. So a similar thing happened to me. All the girls were getting saved just to sit by me, and just kidding. Hey, hey, rough crowd. No, I do have a really interesting, I was sharing the gospel with an individual, and I thought they were really paying attention, listening, engaged the whole time, answering all the questions, worked through everything, and I was really thinking that this individual was sincere. And so I got to the end and asked them, if they would like to pray a prayer. At that time, as a college guy, I can't remember how old I was. And I remember them looking at me in the eye and said, "Is that all you got?" Serious, that was it. So that's my funny story. Wow, that's rough. Man, it's tough up here. Must be the. Hang on, try that one more time. They said, "Is that all you got?" Oh, yeah, there you go.
You want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So, South Carolina, I was in South Carolina in 2011. It was my very first mission trip ever, and we're at this place. We're trying to we're repainting and redoing a playground, and we get done, and we're trying to wash off the paint off of us, and this guy comes up, and he goes, "Where's the pastor at?" He used some more choice words than that. And then he turns to one of the other boys and goes, "Do you believe in the black demon?" And we're like, "What?" He kind of described us the black demon. And then he turns again and goes, "I'm a shapeshifter. I shapeshift into a werewolf." And me, I'm like 9th grade, and I'm going to go, I kind of want to see this. And then starts talking about like the process of becoming a werewolf. And instead of actually doing it for us. But then by that time, our pastor was like, student pastor was like, let's get you away from everyone.
I will never forget, I went as a 15-year-old to New Orleans. Ooh, yeah, Mardi Gras. It was not during Mardi Gras. We were walking in downtown New Orleans, just stopping and sharing the gospel with people, and we had a witch doctor come up and begin to cast spells on us as we're sharing the gospel with people. And no, y'all laugh, and it was sort of funny because the dude was sort of dancing around, really animated, but you literally could feel darkness. Because this guy truly believed that, like, we didn't need to be there. He didn't want us doing what we were doing. And I will never forget, my youth pastor turned around and pointed at the guy, and he said, "In the name of God, I tell you to be gone, Satan. And you know what happened to the guy? He stepped on a manhole cover and it flipped over, and his leg went into the street and broke his leg. And he had to get taken in an ambulance to the hospital. And you laugh at that, and it was sort of funny at the time. But like he literally, my youth pastor turned around, and I'm like, dude, you're like Peter, and he's like, nah, I didn't know that manhole cover was loose, but that was pretty cool, wasn't it? I've always wanted to do that with a group of students, but I also don't want to break somebody's leg.
So this series has been multiplying. We've been talking about, Scott, you shared with us, the Great Commission, Acts 1:8, and kingdom, power, and witness. And we talk all the time about being disciples and being disciples maker. Our mission statements on the back wall. We exist to glorify God by making disciples of all nations. But not everyone knows exactly what it means to be a disciple maker. So what would you say is a disciple maker?
So I thought I got my cheat sheet up here. So I thought about this. I think the easiest way to get after this one in a short amount of time is if you're just a disciple. I think if you're a disciple, that is a follower of Christ, a student of Christ, born-again believer who is interested in the teaching of Christ, then it kind of flows out of that you're going to be a disciple. And if you're a disciple, then you are really doing like Paul said when he said, imitate me as I imitate Christ. So in essence, as a disciple maker, you're just simply encouraging people to follow Christ just like you, as a worshiper, as a servant, I said worshiper, a servant, as a witness. As you're doing those three things as a disciple, you really will. You'll be surprised at how many people God will draw into your sphere of influence, and you will begin to make disciples. One illustration I think is really good is when you think about a servant. Jesus said the greatest to be a servant. So if you're a servant like Christ, you really are a disciple of His. And I think in this crowd and here, if you serve others, which is kind of going low on love, that is like Jesus washing His disciples' feet, I think you could create a discipleship phenomena in this youth ministry if all of us in this church, and especially in the youth group or in the student ministry, if you really just model servanthood, you don't have any idea how you would impact and begin to disciple others. So that's my short answer. I think you got to know what a disciple is. If you're a disciple, a worshiper, I mean, you appreciate and value who God is. You're serving others and you're witnessing. Then in essence, you're just saying, hey, imitate me as I imitate Christ. And that's what Paul says. So you should be able to say that if you're a Christian about your walk with God. And you will be a disciple maker if you do that.
Yeah. Christy, anything you want to add?
Basically, I was going to say imitate Christ, but as a missionary kid, my parents raised me to say, you love people, in that you make relationships with those that you love, and then you serve their earthly needs. And sometimes it's just being a friend because they don't have a friend, or it may be giving them a warm meal or some clothes, and then from there, you share with them, the importance of their spiritual need in Christ. And so I'd say it's about relationships, as Christ showed us.
People are not going to care about the gospel until they know how much you care about them. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. I've heard mentors of mine tell me that. And there's some of you in this room right now, some of you that are paying attention, some of you that aren't, that you have believed in Jesus for years, and you have never once shared the gospel with somebody. And let me say this to you. I'm not shaming you right now, because your own student pastor was exactly like you. Man, I don't think I shared the gospel with somebody until I was 14 or 15 years old, and I believed in Jesus for the first time when I was 8. Guys, let me tell you, the easiest way to share the gospel with somebody is to show them that you love them and invite them to come be a part of what you believe at the church. Now, we want you to share the gospel. Jesus Christ, everybody's a sinner. Jesus Christ died on the cross for your sins. Believe in him, your sins are forgiven, and one day you'll be able to spend eternity in heaven with him. We want you to share that. But man, just care for people. Care for their physical needs and care for their souls. And it really is as simple as that. And share who Jesus is to you, to them.
Yeah, so, Brian and me, we love statistics, talking about statistics and studying it, and he does.
Not anymore.
But, no, we see that only 10% of teenagers will become world-changing disciples for a lifetime. Now, when we hear that word world-changing, a lot of times we think that we need to go overseas, we need to go somewhere else to start this disciple-making progress. So I want to ask whichever one y'all want to start to know, why do you feel that it is important to share the gospel and to love others here in Enterprise?
Christy, you want to go first?
Sure. I believe that you are to share where you're planted. I've never thought I would find myself in Enterprise, Alabama, but that's where God planted us. And so my heart and my comfort zone is overseas because that's my home.
Yeah, this is not your comfort zone,
This
is it?
is not my comfort zone. So for years, I've said, Lord, call me to missions. I saw many people that wanted to be missionaries but weren't truly called, and it's not pretty when they get overseas. It's very hard. But I always told God, call Jorge, because if you call him, I know it's for real. But anyway, so I found that God brought the mission field to me here in Enterprise, which he gave me one of my comfort zones because I just feel more at home with the Hispanic community. So anyway, but I just believe that you're to, spread God's love where you're planted, and that's why I do it at Enterprise.
I think I got you another, you got a Jersey Mike story. All right, you got Jersey Mike's. How about this one, creme brulee? All right, creme brulee, anybody like creme brulee? Yeah, all right, here we go. We got some old people in here. Creme brulee, if you never had it, I never had it. Didn't even know what it meant. Couldn't even pronounce it on the menu. But I'll tell you what, the first time I ordered it and got it, I was hooked. So now, to this day, there's a place that we go to down in Destin, Florida, and you can go and get creme brulee. It's a delicacy of a dessert. It's wonderful. Samuel can tell you how you have to make it. You got to bring out the fire up the sugar on the top. I mean, it's very incredible. So you can't get it all the time because it's a little bit expensive, so you only get it every so often, but I love it. Creme brulee, what's that have to do with this? Well, I was just thinking through this. There's something about sharing the gospel when someone comes to Christ, and then they begin worshiping, and they begin serving, and they begin witnessing. And when you see that in someone else, that God gave you the privilege, that brought them to you, you were faithful to share the gospel, and now they're sitting beside you here on a Wednesday night or on a Sunday morning. Let me tell you something. That's some show-enough creme brulee right there. And it will change the way you see witnessing and sharing because there's nothing like it, all right? And it's hard for you to sit and say, well, I'm not really sure about that until you actually taste it, until you actually experience it. And then all of a sudden you have a young man that gets saved at 8, becomes a faithful sharer of the gospel. Now he's your youth minister. He's tasted the creme brulee. I mean, he's experienced the joy of seeing someone come to Christ, many of you. But I'll tell you, I go back to it. Hey, I'm telling you, if you're worshiping God, I mean, he really matters to you, and you're serving others like crazy, and you're witnessing, it's not going to be long before there's going to be some folks sit up in here, and they're going to be sitting beside you because God does the work. We just share the message. That's the beauty of it. And then we just watch. And next thing you know, this guy's sitting up here and this guy's sitting over there, and you're going, son, this is exciting what God can do in people's lives. So that's the creme brulee of the Christian walk. I mean, we're not in heaven yet. I could be in heaven worshiping, singing like Chris on Sunday morning, but I'm not. I'm down here, so I am given the opportunity just to share with people and watch God transform lives, and that's creme brulee. And if you hadn't tasted it, hey, you're missing out.
It's kind of like, when you preach what you say, you're the best evangelist about what you care about the most.
God, here's the thing. God has given every single one of you that believe in Jesus a platform to share the gospel. Every single one of you, students and adults in the room, God has given you a platform and has equipped you to share the gospel. There are people in here that you are the primary person that God has called to reach those people. Whoever that group is, for Scott, it's soldiers at Fort Rucker. For Christy, it's people that speak Spanish, and God has specifically equipped them to do that. I get asked this question a lot. I'm a 40-year-old youth pastor. Not a whole lot of us out there. People ask why I'm still doing what I'm doing, and I said it's because it's what God has called and equipped me to do. And I'm going to do it until he tells me to do something else. But it's what he built me to do. God's built you to do something. I don't know what that is. That's a conversation you need to have with him, but it definitely involves honoring and glorifying him through sharing the gospel with other people. So, all right, one last question. How can these students be evangelists and disciple makers in Enterprise?
On that one,
right.
Okay. I hate to do this again, but I got to do this to you. Christy Jackson. All right, y'all don't know Christy Jackson from anybody, but she used to ride on my bus from Destin, Florida to Fort Walton Beach High School. All right. But let me tell you this. She's the only Christian that I knew in my high school, period. Now, a lot of people went to youth group with me. I was involved and all that, but she was a Christian lady. She rode on that school bus. She didn't look like, she didn't dress like a Little House on the Prairie or anything. She was just different. And I envied her. I was jealous because people would make fun of her. She was crazy enough sometimes to even carry her Bible on the bus. Come on, you're kidding me. And we would just ridicule this girl. And she was just steady, stable. And man, I was so jealous. I was like, what is it about this girl that's like, man, you can't touch her. She doesn't want to be us. Everybody wants to be us, not her. And I knew that there was something different about her. Now, I've never met her till this day as a Christian. Now, let me tell you something. I'm a 51-year-old man. I was 14 the first time I saw her, and I've never forgotten her. I think that's discipleship. That's a disciple of Christ that makes an impression on someone's life for almost 30 years. Because really, honestly, guys, I'm still that guy. I want to be more like Christ and less like me. I want to be more like Christy Jackson and less like me. Because she had a hold of something that, boy, it really made me very jealous. Again, not a lot of conversation, just watching her maneuver, like some of you. And persecuted, but just faithful. And I was like, when I think of a faithful disciple, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, however old I am, 36, whatever it was, I think of Christy Jackson. And you know what? Somebody ought to think of you. There's something different about that person. You can't shake them. All right, Christy didn't show up at all the parties. She wasn't popular. She wasn't on everybody's top list. She wasn't all over the annual. But son, let me tell you something. I don't remember anybody in my annual except me and her.
Annual's a yearbook.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm here to interpret.
Yeah, but man, so I do. I mean, and I pray to God that she's still following the Lord to this day. But yeah, Christy Jackson is what I think of.
I was looking at some of your faces going, what's an annual? What's an annual? So that's why I jumped in.
And that I totally agree, and I think that goes back to imitating Christ, and it's hard. Even being in a missionary school, which missionary schools and Christian schools are usually the worst. PK, MK, those are usually the crazy kids, and I was one of them. But people do remember those people, because I have those people in my life as well. But I think for y'all, when I was your age, I needed something tangible that I could do, because, we're all going to have a bad day. I was always, I'm having a bad day, and they're watching me have a bad day, and then feeling guilty about that or whatever. But there are things that you can do here at church. It's so important to be involved with things at church, and invite kids to, come to the hangar, those kind of things. Promise you'll have a good time. We're not going to shove the Bible down your throat, kind of thing. But also, we have VBS, and that was one thing Ms. Cat told me I had to mention, because we need students to help with VBS this year. There's a lot of activities in the summer, and football and summer school and stuff like that. So if you're not involved in something else, we could totally use you. And I can tell you right now, little kids look up to you, and when you hold their hand, or you make them feel safe, or you tell them, hey, Jesus loves you the most, and things like that, it makes an impact on their life. And so that's one thing, and you can sign up online, and we would love to have you. I'm in charge of the youth, so I'll be kind. And then the other thing is, we actually this year, we're going to go, since I got asked to help out with the schools, I've gotten more aware of the communities at Dixie Drive and Apache Drive. And I don't know if y'all know those areas, but if you want to go to a third world country, just drive down into those apartments. It's amazing to me. I literally feel like I'm in Guatemala in one of the worst neighborhoods, because it's just really sad, and the kids run at you. They want love. So many of those kids, they were like the token kid that the dad brought with 10 other men, but that kid got them into the United States, because if they come with a child, they can get in. So there's little girls that live with 10 men, and they're by themselves, and they don't have a mom or
I got to go out a couple months ago with them, and it is a very humble experience. I was driving the church van. Christy was driving her own car, and as soon as she pulled in, these kids just swarmed our car, because they knew that she was there and that she was going to be the one that gave them love that day.
There's a lot of you in this room that would say that we live in Enterprise, Alabama, and that everybody in Enterprise knows Jesus. Everybody in Enterprise has even if they don't believe, has heard about Jesus. That everybody in Enterprise has a good life. Guys, let me tell you right now, none of that's true. There are people in Enterprise, Alabama that have never heard who Jesus is. There are people in Enterprise, Alabama that do not believe in Jesus. Even some people that claim to believe that don't. And there are people in Enterprise, Alabama that have physical and emotional needs that are not met every single day. How many of y'all know that our schools, especially the elementary schools, have been sending food home on the weekends? How many of y'all know that? Most of you look at that food and say, why in the world do we have this? Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, there are children in Enterprise that if they did not have that food, they would not eat anything from lunch on Friday until breakfast on Monday. And those are the 2 meals that they get at school. I know that because I used to teach in a classroom in a place not dissimilar from here, and I had students that would not eat over the weekend. We live in a place where we constantly need to share the gospel with people. We constantly need to love people with the love that Jesus has for us, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. There are multiple opportunities that each and every one of you have every single day to reach people for Jesus.
The July 6th through 8th, we're going to do a backyard Bible study with those kids. We're going to set up tents over there by Dixie Drive, and we're going to feed them, and we're going to love on them because most of them we have enrolled in summer school, not just because they don't speak the language and they need to learn more English, but because that will guarantee them a meal or two. And so the month of July, they will be at home, and most of them may get some tortillas once a day. Some of them may not even get that. And a lot of the girls, there's a sweet little girl, she's 8 years old. She has a 4-year-old little brother and a 3-year-old sister and a 2-year-old little sister. And when I go over there on the weekends, she's always running around with one holding onto each hand, and she's already put the 2-year-old down for a nap. And she's keeping the other two outside so that they don't wake up the 2-year-old. And mom and dad are in a field or working somewhere, and they don't get home till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So this 8-year-old takes care of her siblings and puts them to bed and feeds them. And she tells me, well, today I got to make them some soup, and it's basically water with chicken broth. And so anyway, it's just right here. And it's so crazy that it's right here in the middle of Enterprise. But anyway, so if y'all would like to help with that, it's going to be our first time to do it, so we're not really sure how it's going to turn out, but we're excited that we'll be able to give them some love and some food in the month of July, even if it's just a few days. And then if you ever want to go, I'm going to be going. Half of them are my kids from school, so we have developed a relationship, and I am the mom figure that they have because they don't have a mom. So I will go probably on a regular basis just to check in with them, to take them things. And I know Kat is probably still going to be collecting food and that sort of thing through the summer. So if y'all ever don't have anything to do and you want to do something, call me up and I will get you something to do.
And we can put you in touch with Christy. So you can get in touch with one of us. We can get you in touch with her. If you have younger siblings that bring the food home on Friday, bring it to the church. We'll get it to people that need it. And we will be putting information out about VBS and about the Backyard Bible Club that we're going to be doing in July. We're firming up some details about that now, but putting that out. So, guys, let me just encourage you. Everybody in this room that believes in Jesus has the opportunity to multiply themselves. Each and every one of you. If you ever wonder how, come talk to one of us, man. We can encourage you. We can give you some ideas on how to do that. But I'm going to pray. And then just as one last announcement, don't forget next Wednesday night, we're going to be in the sanctuary, not in the hangar. So we're going to start at 6 o'clock like we normally do, but we'll be down in the sanctuary. So let me pray, and then we'll head to the house. God, thank you for today. Thank you for the opportunity we have to talk about being a disciple maker, sharing the gospel with people. I pray for these students. I pray that they would be disciple makers, that they would be evangelists, that they would meet spiritual, physical, and emotional needs of those people around them. In your name I pray. Amen.